What's up, my juice lovers? Welcome to the Cold Pressed Truth. This is Charlie Wetlaufer. We got some juicy news. In fact, one of our good natured customers featured on Fox News, their local Fox News in Vacaville, California, recently, as being the first juice bar to offer made to order cold pressed juice. Now, this means you can go up to the counter, you can order whatever juice you want, and they'll make it on the spot in a real juice press and give it to you. Okay. By cold press, I mean real cold press juice made in an actual press, not a slow juicer or auger juicer or centrifugal or whatever. So, I posted an article about it on the Good Nature blog today. I'll put a link below. Basically, we can watch this video real quick.
Wellness Resource Center.
This is interesting here. Fox 40's Gary Gelfand is live in Vacaville.
This guy is.
Give us a look inside.
I apologize ahead of time for this news anchor. He's very cringeworthy.
Virtue Juice Bar. And look, I see some vegetables there. That's what you want to see.
In the raw. How does this work, Gare?
Oh, hey.
Yes, this is what you guys want. Absolutely. Look how fresh this stuff is. And basically, it's farm right here to Virtue. That's how they're doing it, keeping everything local, which is what I like. I've got a tropical breeze in my hand. This, by the way, was all that nice juice just about 5-10 minutes ago. Now, vegetable. Now it's, of course, juice. All right, Tom's here right now. Tom, how are you, man?
So, basically, they have these refrigerators
Juice, just about 5-10 minutes.
that open from the top, which is nice because they can prep all their fruit and vegetable and put it in these Cambro pans that, they can just grab. At least when I was there, they were doing it so the recipes are by like piece instead of by weight. So they do like 2 chunks of celery, 1 chunk of orange, 2 halves of 2 chunks of lemon, whatever. I do know that when I was there about a month ago, they were talking about switching to weight just to get the consistency down a little more, because sometimes they'll end up either producing way too much juice or not enough because the size of the chunks that they cut varies so much.
Minutes ago. Now, why it's an amazing story, and I love, why you're doing this, because really it's all about the health.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we brought Virtue to Vacaville, first off, really to have a place to give some help to people that are in town and in the area. Second to that, my wife's been suffering from MS for about.
Yeah, so when Tom came to Good Nature in 2018, told me a story. Basically, his wife has been suffering from MS for a long time, and she's become a quadriplegic, which is really sad. But he started researching a lot about nutrition. He doesn't have a background in nutrition. He's a background in like technology sales, but he started researching it, and it turns out the right kind of nutritional intake can actually decrease the symptoms of MS a lot. So he studied that. He became a certified health coach. He opened this juice bar. Like, he's all in on this. He's, quote unquote, seen the light, and now he's really trying to help other people as well.
About 23 years now. And we really are doing this not only for the community, but for ourselves personally. So everything we're doing here is all organic. It's all cold pressed juice. It's the healthiest juice that you can find.
Yeah, it's amazing. And these fruits and these vegetables, they really do help out. They help out.
So you can see a good shot here of the custom fabricated station they set up. Basically, the X-1 Minis are lower than counter height, which is ideal, sitting on these stainless carts. So those carts actually have wheels. So if he wants to, he can wheel the machines in the back for making bottles of juice or whatever. But basically, having them on this countertop the way it is, he has the cart sloped into the sink here. So they can just wash the machines down right in place. They can pour water through them. They can wash parts in the sink, all without worrying about making a mess, which I think is really ideal in a juicing situation. Like, if you've got a line of customers, if you got to get through a bunch of orders, you can't be slowing down to like carefully wash everything. Like, just spraying everything down and keep on moving is what you want.
So much, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah, the produce that we're getting is some of it's being picked the day before. We're working with local farms, Lockwood Acres, and also veritable vegetables dropping off a pallet a day.
A pallet a day. Wow, that's amazing. And you have so many different types of drinks. Right now, we're looking at some of this stuff going into the cold press right now. And what I love about this is, as you said, it's cold pressed to order. So you order it and you wait like 3 minutes or so.
cold press to order. So you order it and you wait like 3 minutes.
So, and it's done right there. Where normally some of the places, they just have it all bottled, you know, and it's kind of, you don't know how long it's going to sit there. Where's the middleman? You're cutting out the middleman pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. This process really,
Cutting out the middleman. I don't even know what he's talking about.
from experts telling us, we're the only juice bar in the country offering a cold press juice that's made to order. This hasn't been done before. It's technically quite difficult to do.
So I do agree with him that it's technologically difficult to do. Like he had to spend a lot of time developing the process and the systems and getting the custom fabricated counter, everything. And they're still tweaking it. They're getting the serving time down, trying to get it down to about 3 minutes. So let me walk you through the article here. Basically, there have been a bunch of juice bars that have tried to do this using either a Norwalk or our old machine, the CT7, or I guess those are probably the only two that are possible, but it was just too laborious of a process. I mean, the Norwalk, you're lucky if you can make a glass of juice in like 10 to 15 minutes. And there's lots of cleaning involved. You have to unscrew these little wing nuts to get the grinder parts out and then wash those. So that doesn't really work. Not to mention the Norwalk's not even NSF certified, so you can't even use it in commercial establishments. And then when we were selling the CT7, it had a separate food processor, so you had to grind stuff separately and then pour it in the press, hit the press button, then you had to wash out the food processor and the blade and everything. That was very laborious and took up a ton of counter space. So when we released the X1 Mini, although the primarily the target market for the X1 Mini is juice bars doing batches of bottles of juice. So if you need to stock a refrigerator with bottles of juice, you know, in a single pressing cycle, you can make 3 or 4 bottles of juice. So you can get through 20, 30, 40, 50 bottles rather quickly. We did anticipate that some people would want to use them for made to order. So we put a faster pressing speed. That's why it's labeled single. That's for a single serving of juice. And the reason there's 2 different speeds is because if you have a lot of produce, say, you know, 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7 pounds of produce in the press, and you try to press too quickly, 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, the stuff might press out of the top of the press and make a mess. Number 2, you're not going to get a high yield. Pressing slowly is always better if you have the time, and you have to press slowly if you have a big batch of stuff. Now, if you have a smaller batch of stuff, it's still good to press slowly, but you can get away with pressing a little bit faster because there's so much extra room in the press. Basically, the first half of the press cycle isn't really doing much, so we engineered the machine to move faster in the beginning and then slow down. So it goes, you can hear it when you start it. It moves forward and then it slows down, click, 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 and then goes slow for the rest of the cycle. So it's about a 90-second press cycle for the single serving, and the batch speed is about 4 minutes. So with a 90-minute press cycle or 90-second press cycle, about 30 seconds to grind, you're looking at about 2 minutes total of actually like putting produce in and pressing. Now, obviously, you have to add some time on for prepping the produce, you know, like weighing out the produce and rinsing the machine in between if you're switching between colors of juices. So when I was out there, they were averaging about 4 minutes to 6 minutes per customer, although they were working on getting that speed dialed in a bit. So I think they might be down to about 3 to 4 minutes now, which is actually pretty good because the average wait time at a Starbucks is about 4.5 minutes. So when Tom came to see me in 2018, it was like, I think the end of the year, 2018, maybe like fall time in Buffalo. We had been talking for a bit. He first called me and he was like, look, I want to offer made to order pressed juice. And I was like, gave him the same answer I give most people is that, well, I mean, you could do that, but it would take a lot of like engineering and custom fabricating a countertop. And when I tell most people that, they're like, oh, never mind, I don't want to do it. But Tom was like, tell me more. Okay, so I already had this sketch done. I had my friend Kenny Lau. He's a fairly well-known restaurant consultant. he came to Buffalo, and I worked with him on this concept. He came up with a sketch of what you need to do to make a kind of made-to-order juicing station. And it was essentially a machine on a counter that had a drain underneath it and a trash bin next to it so you could throw the juice pulp away easily for composting. And underneath it, it had a refrigerator with a couple drawers so you could just reach down and grab the produce you need. So, it didn't scare Tom away. He's a very kind of process-oriented person, a background in corporate like technology sales. So he, kind of starts at the end of what he needs and works backwards. He did a very good job. He worked with custom fabricator, and so this is what it looks like behind the counter. He's got his 2 white X-1 Minis, each on the cart that drain into the sink there. And then he's got the trash bin on the side. It's very similar to what it was in the sketch. Obviously, this is very different from the original sketch I gave him, but the concept is pretty similar. So in addition to doing the made-to-order juice, they also use the machines to stock a refrigerator with bottles of juice. There are parts of the day where there's some downtime and there's no customers ordering made-to-order juice. So somebody will be on a machine batching bottles of juice and put in the refrigerator. And Tom said that they found that the more juice they put in the refrigerator, the more they sell. So there's something about having like refrigerator full of beautiful, colored bottles of juices that people might come in to order an acai bowl or made to order juice, and then they'll grab a couple bottles to go. So it's a great way to add on some revenue if you are doing the made to order juice. There's a picture of Tom. And so if you're interested in doing something like this in your juice bar, I highly recommend you come to JuiceCon this year in November in Miami. You can go to juicecon.co to purchase tickets for that. And Tom is going to be speaking. He's going to be running a workshop basically and presenting a guide and best practices step by step how to implement a made to order cold pressed juice program. So if that's something you're interested in, you should come and check it out. Tom will be there all weekend to answer questions. And just, talk with them. If there's something you need to learn more about or you're feeling uncomfortable about something, I'm sure he'll be happy to help you out. Right. So that's what I got for you today, guys. If you'd like to learn more about juicing and see more educational videos like this, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And see you soon. Peace, love, juice.